On one more foreign policy point, I will point out, as you all saw, the last remaining body of the hostages, Israeli hostages in Gaza, has been returned. This is a huge foreign policy feat for the President of the United States, for the State of Israel, and frankly, for the whole world. The president made the impossible possible, and so it's great news for the president, for the United States, for our allies, and also for peace in the Middle East. And I understand that more than 20 new additional countries have also signed up to join the newly established Board of Peace with respect to the rebuilding of Gaza, which is another historic accomplishment for this president.
Can I just get your thoughts on this new committee? Because under this plan, Gaza will be governed by this new committee, which will be made up of qualified Palestinians and international experts with oversight and supervision by this international body called the Board of Peace. Here's Donald Trump speaking about it.
To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it, the Board of Peace, sort of a beautiful name, the Board of Peace, which will be headed, not at my request, believe me, I'm very busy, but we have to make sure this works. The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States. That's what I want, is some extra work to do, but it's so important that I'm willing to do it, and we'll do it right, and we're going to put leaders from other countries on, and leaders that are very distinguished leaders, and we'll have a board, and one of the people that wants to be on the board is the UK former Prime Minister, Tony Blair, good man, very good man, and some others, and they'll be named over the next few days, and it'll be quite the board.
Josh, what do you make of this Board of Peace?
Well, it's kind of classic Trumpian branding, first of all, isn't it? I mean, the Board of Peace. Yeah, this is the art of the deal, the apprentice guy, right? I mean, it's a beautiful. I mean, I think Trump would be the first to say it's a beautiful sounding board name, right? Look, I mean, if all this actually works out, and you know, whether it's 4D chess, 10D chess, 20, I mean, however D's you want to call this high stakes game of international diplomatic chess, if this all actually works out, then Donald Trump will unequivocally, undoubtedly deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. And at that point, if he does not actually get a Nobel Peace Prize, then every single person on the Nobel Peace Prize ought to be not just fired, but probably tarred and feathered in the public square for just being that catastrophically biased towards the president, because he will have achieved really kind of the unthinkable. As far as the actual board itself there, again, the devil is always in the details. We're talking here about Arab leaders. Well, who are the Arab leaders? I mean, are they the non-Islamist, anti-Muslim Brotherhood Arab leaders, the leaders from countries like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Egypt? Or are we talking here about the Muslim Brotherhood pro-Islamism Arab countries, namely Qatar, Turkey, perhaps Syria under al-Shara, the former al-Qaeda jihadi who's currently in charge in Damascus? So again, the devil is kind of always in the details here. The Arab world is a much more complicated place than people typically realize. You know, there's a reason that's been a particularly violent part of the world for a very long time there. It's not necessarily kind of a unilateral kumbaya style culture. So let's see who's actually in it. But I will say that I like the fact that Donald Trump is going to take onus and actually kind of run this thing himself to an extent, although he doesn't necessarily seem so enthusiastic about that himself.